The child was simply carried away by the rainbow glory of the silken colors, and he was filled with overwhelming desire to possess them all the balloons he wanted to possess. But he well knew that his parents would not never be able to buy him the balloons, because they would say he was too old to play with such toy. Each time he is demanding something, parents have got some kind of a counter reply. Now the parents will say that you are so old, you cannot, you are old enough, you don't need to play with balloons now. So he walked on further. A snake charmer stood playing a flute to a snake which coiled itself in the basket. So now after this man who was selling balloon, now he sees the snake charmer, the person who plays the snake dance and all that in the fair. So now this child is at least stopping and looking at the snake. Its head raised in a graceful bend like the neck of the swan. When the music stole in its invisible ears like the gentle rippling of the invisible waterfall, the child went towards the snake charmer. So, the pungi, this instrument is being played here, and then the snake charmer is trying to just get the snake up, because the snake is lying in the basket all folded, and then the child is looking at the snake. But knowing his parents had forbidden him to hear such coarse music, coarse means bad, rough music, so he was not even allowed to stay even at that particular point. As the snake charmer played, he proceeded farther. There was a roundabout. Now, after the snake charmer, there is a roundabout, a particular kind of a swing in full swing. Men, women, children carried away in whirling motion shrieked and cried. And everybody was enjoying. Roundabout, is a kind of a swing, and where everybody goes and it takes you up and then down. So it is very thrilling kind of an experience. Everybody, including the women and everybody, they were shrieking, means shouting, and cried with dizzy laughter. They were going dizzy. Dizzy means losing consciousness. They feel they're fainting, and then it's all a wonderful experience when you go and take a ride in these swings at the fair. That is the most fascinating part of any fair. The child watched them intently, and then he made a bold request. Now he is becoming so bold. I want to go on to the roundabout, please, father, mother. There was no reply. He turned to look at his parents. They were not there, ahead of him. Now this boy is so scared, because when he made the request, there was no reply, and he looked around, but he saw that his parents have left. He was left alone. His parents have already walked up ahead. They were not there. He looked behind. Now this is very interesting, because this child is lost. That is the title also, the lost child. There was no sign of them. A full deep cry rose within his dry throat, and with a sudden jerk of his body, he ran from where he stood, crying in real fear. Now he's so much scared, and he's crying, and he's getting all these panic attacks and all that. Mother, father, tears rolled down from his eyes, hot and fierce. His flushed face was convulsed with fear. Now his face is showing the fear which was there, appearing, appearance could be seen. He was so scared now. Panic stricken, he ran to one side first, then to the other. Hither, the means here and there he started running. And then mother, father, he's shouting in all direction. He wailed. Wailing is again yelling. His yellow turban came untied, and his clothes became muddy. Having run to and fro in a rage of running for a while, he stood defeated, his cries suppressed into sobs. Now he is so much tired of calling and shouting and searching his parents, and now his crying became sob. He started sobbing. Now he's no more crying, but he was taking long sighs and sobbing. A little distance on the green grass, he could see through his filmy eyes. Filmy eyes means there was a layer of tear on his eyes, a coat. That is where we call, not filmy eyes. It's not film. Film also means a cover. Okay, a cover, a thin layer of something. Filmy eyes, men and women talking. He tried to look intently among the patches of bright yellow clothes, but there was no sign of his father and mother among these people, and he's trying to look for his father and mother everywhere, but he is not able to get any sign of his father and mother. He wanted to talk and search, but there was no, it was not beneficial. It was not at all producing any result, because this boy has tried out everything, and he has cried also, but then he is getting no answer. and mother among these people who seemed to laugh, talk just for the sake of laughing and talking. He ran quickly again, this time to a shrine to which people seemed to be crowding. Every little inch of space here he was congested with men, but he ran through people's legs, his little sob lingering, and he's still lingering. He's going through a shrine, a particular place where there was temple or some kind of shrine is there. And then mother, father, he saw people talking, laughing, but he could not see his parent near the entrance to the temple, and he went to the temple, but there also he will not be able to get his parents. However, the crowd became very thick. Men jostled each other. They were pushing. Jostling means pushing each other with flashing murderous eyes and hefty shoulder. Hefty means big shoulders. The poor child struggled to thrust away between their feet and knocked at to and fro by their brutal movements, and people were just pushing him, and he's so small, so he's only reaching up to the legs of the people, and people were just pushing him aside and all that, and somehow he came there. He might have been trampled underfoot. People could have walked over that boy because it was so crowded a place. There was not an inch of space left for people. That's how the generally the fairs are. And then he shrieked at the highest pitch of his voice, "Father, mother!" A man's surging crowd heard in his cry, and stopping with great difficulty, lifted him up in his arm. "How did you get here, child?" Now a man was kind, so he lifted the child and he said, who are you? How did you get left here? Whose baby are you? The man asked as he steered clear of the mass, and then he just, pushed aside the people, and he brought the boy out of the crowd. The child wept more bitterly. Now he started crying even badly, more badly than ever. Now only he is crying, and he cried, "I want my father, I want my mother." The man tried to soothe him by taking him to the roundabout. So now this man, see, that is where I was telling you. Initially, he's requesting his parents, "I want garland, I want sweets, I want roundabout, I want these toys and all that." But now this man is trying to console him, trying to make him quiet. He's sobbing and crying. So this man is taking him everywhere. "Okay, come on, take a roundabout." But he says, "No, I want my mother and father." "Okay, try balloons." "No, I want only my mother and father." That's how this story is very interesting. Just before some time, this boy wanted everything, but now he doesn't want anything, only his parents. The man tried to soothe him by taking him to the roundabout. "Will you have a ride on the horse?" he gently asked. As he approached the ring, the child's throat tore into a thousand shrill of sobs, and he only shouted, "I want my mother, I want my father." 1,000 times he's only saying one thing. Then he took him to the snake charmer, still played on the flute to swaying cobra. "Listen, that nice music. Listen, that nice music." That man is trying to, divert his attention towards the snake. The boy only says, "I want my father, I want my mother." But the child shut his ears with his fingers and shouted his double pitched strain, "I want my mother, I want my father." The man took him near the balloons, and I'm telling you, it is going reverse. First this, coming from the same sequence again, but the child wants nothing. He only wants his mother and father. Thinking the bright color of the balloons would distract the child's attention and quieten him, "Would you like a rainbow colored balloon?" He persuasively, means trying to persuade him, trying to just, make him agree or trying to make him calm. He persuasive tone, he said. The child turned his eyes from the flying balloon and just sobbed, "I want my mother, I want my father." He just turned his attention from the balloon. I said, "I'm not interested in balloon. I just want my parents." That's how life also does it for us. Sometimes we're so keen to get certain things, but at one point of time, we don't want that thing. We want only the company of our own beloved people. So that's what it is happening. That's why I say Mulk Raj Anand has beautifully portrayed the story, The Lost Child. "I want my mother, I want my father." The man, still trying to make the child happy, bore him to the gate where the flower seller sat. Now he brought him to the flower seller. He wanted him to get the garland, but the boy again said, "No, I want my father and I want my mother." "Look, child, can you smell those nice flowers? Child, would you like a garland to put round your neck?" The boy turned his nose away from the basket and got back his sob, "I want my mother, I want my father." Thinking to humor his disconsolate child by a charge, by gift of sweets, the man took him to the counter of the sweet shop. "What sweets would you like?" child? He asked. The child turned his face from the sweet shop and only sobbed, I want my mother, I want my father. So that's a very beautiful story. Mulk Raj Anand has left this story on an incoherent note. We don't know what has happened next, but this boy wanted just his father and his mother. So that's it, the lost child. It's a wonderful story.